All right, in this lesson, we're going to kick things off by talking about researching your customers. This is one of the most fundamental and important things that you can be doing in the book creation process. When researching and understanding your customers properly, you're going to be able to create the book for them that's going to solve their specific problems, which in turn is going to bring in more sales and more reviews. This is the part that a lot of publishers, including myself, used to overlook, used to not think was too important. But the market demands on Amazon. Customers are now demanding on Amazon more than ever that they want books that are specifically written for them. So this is one of the reasons that this is so key. So in this lesson, we're going to really dive in and help you understand exactly why researching your customer is key. I'm going to show you the 4 best places to do your customer research. And I'm also going to show you the customer research sheet. So knowing your customer and understanding why that matters. You are not your customer. You have no idea what they really want. Now, this is true for most self-publishers. Most people are not who they're going to be writing their books for. Even if you are and you have some sort of interest in the book that you're publishing. Now, even if you are publishing a book in something that you are familiar with, you want to make sure, are my problems the same type of problems that everyone else in my niche is having? So you want to take it from not your point of view, but from your customers, from your readers' point of view, to ensure that you're producing the book that's going to solve their problem. So in order to create the book that they will purchase, you must first get to know everything you can about them, right? If you can describe their problem better than they can describe it, they will believe you have the solution they want. That is so key. That is so key. So you must become your customer, know everything about them, the language that they're using, the terminology, the problems that they face, and most importantly, the solution that they want, right? And this is why if you can choose a niche that you have some sort of interest in, this is really going to help shorten your learning curve. Now, your customers want the best books that are going to solve their problem, not the book that you think is going to solve their problem. This is where a lot of self-publishers fall into the trap of believing, yeah, I have the best book. I did my research, quote unquote. I know exactly what my customers want. But they haven't really done any surveys. They haven't gone and done some of the research I'm going to show you in a little bit. They haven't done that. They think they know what their customers want. And yet they wonder why when they publish their book, they're not getting any sales. If they are, it ends up getting bad reviews because the book is not solving the problem that the customers actually want. The book is solving the problem that the publisher thinks the customer wants solved. So we do the customer research to learn everything we can about the customer to solve the problem for them in the best way possible. And this is really key by narrowing down and understanding, okay, this is the specific problem that the customer has. This is the specific solution they want. And your entire book is focused around those 2 things and solving that one problem. When you do this, you get positive reviews, you get tons of sales, you build your email list, and you end up building a successful business. The more you understand your customer, the easier it is to create your book, design your title, and overall market your book. The biggest question I get is how to market your book. Marketing your book is a piece of cake. It's one of the easiest things you can do when you know who your customer is, right? I always see people, just earlier today, somebody commented on one of my videos on YouTube, and they said, hey, if anyone wants to read this book about whatever it is, vampires and some paranormal stuff, let me know. And I just messaged them. I was like, man, nobody cares about your book here. They're all too busy caring about their own books and learning how to sell their books and create their books. You have to go and understand where your customers are and show them your book there. But once you understand this, once you understand who your customer is, where they're hanging out, what language they're using, your title creation, piece of cake. How to market your book, piece of cake. Everything becomes easier. And that's the last thing. Everything becomes easier when you know who your customer is. So I'm going to show you 4 best places to do your customer research. So first, let's take a look at the customer research sheet. This is the document that you can use to put down all the information that you're going to be collecting over the various sites that we're going to be using here in a little second. So to create the book that sells long-term, we must first understand who our target customer is. This is fundamental in creating your book. The more you understand your customer, the better the book you can produce for them, the more sales it'll make. So answer the following questions so you know everything about your customer. To download this book or to get this worksheet, there's a link at the bottom of this lesson, and then just click File to make a copy and just download. Okay, so the demographic of your reader, super important. Are they going to be male or female? Are both male and female going to be buying your books? Who is this book going to be designed for? The reason you want to think about that is that's going to be tailoring your title, your description, everything is based. If you're creating a book that's solely designed for women, the language and the terminology that you're going to be using is going to be more geared towards women. The opposite is true to men. It'll be a different style that you want your book in if you're going to be for men. If it's going to be for both, it might be more neutral. But these are the things that you have to determine. What's the age range, right? Is it for young adults? Is it for elderly people? Is it for middle-aged? What's the age range there? Family status, it's pretty obvious there. And then, so topic-related info. So what type of language do they use? So one of the examples I'll show you here is we're going to use gardening. And, gardeners don't just call it dirt. There's a lot of different types of soil that they use. But if you're using the word dirt, they're going to know that this book was not written by anyone who knows anything about gardening. What's the biggest concern or problem that they want fixed? What pattern problems keep coming up over and over again in the research you're doing? Now that we know what the problems are, where does the customer want to be? What's the end goal for your reader? What does their ideal life look like when you have solved their problem? Be clear on this, as this is where you want to bring your customers. All right, so starting off with our customer research worksheet is the 3 places we're going to focus on is Facebook, YouTube, and Google. So remember, Facebook is the search engine. So we're simply going to go up here and vegetable gardening. And what it's going to do, it's going to bring up, we can sort here. We want groups. Vegetable, and we'll open up some of these. All right, we might not be able to see all of them because some of them are going to be private groups. But you can see 102 new posts today. So if I was going to get into learning how to do more vegetable gardening, this would be definitely a great support group I'd want to get into. Okay, slightly smaller one, but still active. Over 300 posts in the last month. Right, 43 new posts today. So these are all great sources. So simply with Facebook, you're typing into the search bar exactly what you're going to be looking for, and then sort by groups, and you can find all of these type of groups with people who are your readers. These are the type of people I want to be showing my book to. The next place that I'm going to look is YouTube. Typing vegetable gardening, and we're going to get all of these videos all about vegetable gardening. So let's take a look at this first one.
That will let water run off to here. You can also water using the tank. But this is the basic way.
So complete guide to digging and planting your first vegetable garden: tomatoes, peppers, and herbs. That sounds exactly what I'd want as a beginner. And if you take a look at this, he talks about what he covers, from selecting the right location, tracking sun through planting, fertilizing, stacking, staking. I don't even know what that is. Watering tomatoes and peppers, plus show you how to start cilantro, dill, basil. So this is a great video. And check this out. He has a book as well. So we can even check out what his book is. See how that, right? So cool. Oh, it looks like he's coming out with it. So this would be a great, great video to watch. And then I can go into the comment section and see exactly what everyone's talking about. So these are the customers that you want to learn about, right? Passion into gardening. So most gardeners are passionate about what they're doing, right? And they're all giving different types of tips and things that have worked for them. First real garden, so excited. So you see people who garden, they get excited about being able to do this, right? So reading all these and then taking relevant information that you're going to find and entering it into our customer worksheet. So the other place we want to look at is Google, right? Right? So gardening for beginners. But we also want to find out the demographic. Who gardens? All right. Look at that. Female gardener. Gardener net. Never knew that before. So these are all the things that you want to take into account. And then I think this is kind of interesting. It says even millennials. I was thinking gardeners were not going to be millennials at all. But this article is really neat. It's saying that, where is it? 5 million of the 6 million new gardener households were millennials, right? Where I was thinking it was going to be more older people, over 40 or so. But that's totally not the case. And so that really affects this, right? Maybe it's marketing this book. Maybe it's gardening for millennials. That could be a completely different market than gardening for non-millennials. So those are all the things that you want to keep in mind as you're filling out this information. Remember, we're not gathering data for the book yet. We are just gathering data about the customer and what their type of problems are when they're looking at starting a vegetable garden. Okay, the other place that we want to look at is Google, but on forums. So we have YouTube, Facebook, Google, and then forums is another one. So you just type in gardening forums or whatever your topic is and forums, and you're going to find a whole bunch of information. Forums are one of the old school way before Facebook where people with a common interest would go in and talk about. And for the diehard fans, for diehard people, forums are still way superior over Facebook. So you can really get some great information of who your customer is, what their problems are, and things by taking a look at a lot of different forums in your niche. Right? Just there's so many different threads and things here. So you spend hours just doing the research there. But the more you fill out your customer research sheet with all this information, the better you're going to understand exactly who your customer is and what their problems are. And that is key.